I want to be able to use global SASS with my Vue here, so that's what I'm going to show you in this video, or maybe the next one as well. We need to do a few things before this works. Now I'm just going to do a quick example of how SASS works, right, with using global colors like primary and secondary and so on, like it kind of already is. Now I just opened up my project here, and that means I had to do another npm run serve for it to work. So if you did the same as me, you need to do that as well. But I'm going to start off in the home.vue file here. I'm just going to go down to my style here, and I'm going to create a SASS map for colors. Now how we do this is we're just going to name it colors with a set, and this is how SASS maps would look like, right? So similar to we've done this before in videos. Now in here I'm going to create one called primary, and I'm going to create a color with FFBB00, so some sort of orange. And the secondary color I'm going to make is some bluish color, 096, definitely not something I prepared. And this is not using this semicolon, it's using a comma to separate them. So this would be how we would structure a SASS map. For us to use this, we would need to do call this into our whatever, like we're going to use the h4, the header 4 for this one, right? And for us to do this, we just need to tell it the selector, which is this, h4, and then we are going to call it in here. Now, we need to change the color of color of our font type in here. And usually we just do like red, boom, it fixes, right? But we want to use the SASS map here. So we need to call our map, and we do that by doing map-get, and it prints out all these stuff in here. I'm just going to delete those because they are so annoying. I want to write them myself. Now we need to tell which variable it needs to look for, that's colors, and then once it's inside the color, which of the two here, primary or secondary, do you want to use. We just want to use the primary one, primary color here. So let's do a save, and hopefully you can see now we have this color for all our h4s. Now this works inside my my home, right? So it prints down to the actual component one, where all my what I called here h4s and so on, they are. So it actually kind of works. It inherits it, right? But what if I just want to do the h4 in my component down here? What happens if I just put them in here? So instead of having them at home, I'm going to put them into my component, because global, right? That's what we want. So now we get an error, because now the system doesn't recognize this anymore, because it's looking for something that doesn't really exist inside the scope of the component here. Even if we remove scoped here, it's not going to work. And even remove it if it were here, it's not going to work either. So what we need to do is tell the system that all the code we create, where we create our variables here, we need to be printed out to all the components. So we need to create a separate CSS file, and we're going to call it variables as a .scss file, and have it all our variables put in that one and then pushed out. So that's what we're going to do in the next video.